Hey Manicast fans, this is Captain Jack Zastro saying what's up. Today we're continuing our Commander series with blue. I've got 10 blue cards for you. Most of them are creatures actually, so let's get to it. First one, Hoverguard Sweepers from 5th Dawn. This is a 5/6 flyer for 8. When it comes into play, return 2 target creatures to the owner's hands. This is really useful if you need to get 2 big threats out of the way. It's also good for playing the political game. Get rid of some big creatures that maybe your allies that just went or something like that didn't have a chance to deal with, so that's good. Next one, Nagisa the Jar from Time Spiral. This is a 3/3 for 5. When it comes into play, it doesn't really do anything, but when you tap and sacrifice it, you get to have every player set aside their hand, draw 7 cards, and at the end of the turn, they discard any card that are left in their hand and return their original hand back to them. What this is good for is destroying 7 cards off pretty much everybody's deck. Unless they have a lot of stuff that they can play at instant speed. So, pretty cool card. Next one, I love this guy, Chronicler, also from the Time Spiral block. He is a suspender. You can play him otherwise for 5, star. He has the power toughness equal to the number of cards in your hand, but you can suspend him for either 1 blue or 3 colorless and X, or you can use Joria the Jidu, which I like to do to put him in easy. But whenever a time counter is removed from him, you get to draw a card. So, really cool. Draining Whelk, also from Time Spiral. Kind of a good set for stuff for Commander. This guy is a 1/1 for 6, flash flying, but when he comes into play, you get to counter a spell and put X +1/+1 counters on it, where the countered spell's cost is the number of counters. So, combine that with Doubling Season, super awesome. Next one, I really like this guy. Tomorrow, Inami's Familiar. He is a 1/5 for 6, which is nothing good at all. But whenever you would draw a card, instead you get to look at your top 3, put 1 into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library. In Commander, that's pretty good. I also added on to him that he should be a frog. Because he should be. Next one, this is pretty much only usable if you're playing a blue-red type Commander deck. Whirlpool Warrior. She is from Apocalypse. 2/2 for 3. When it comes into play, you get to shuffle your hand back into your deck and then draw that many cards. And she also has the ability, pay 1 red and sacrifice her to make every single player do that ability. So, really good for messing with people who just tutored for cards, or you just want to add a little chaos to the game. Last creature I have is Rain, the Academy Chancellor. Whenever you or a permanent you control would be targeted by a spell or ability, you get to draw a card. If she's enchanted, you get to draw 2 cards. Insane! She's really good. I don't know what else to tell you. Plus she's a wizard legend, which is going to get into the deck idea that I'm going to give you guys. Memory Erosion is my first spell that I have here. 2 blue, 1 colorless is an enchantment. Whenever an opponent would play a spell, they put the top 2 cards of their deck into their graveyard. Makes them really think hard about playing stuff. That combo is really good with a blue-black deck. You could use some necromancy to steal their creatures that maybe they just lost off of the rip. It's really good. I like it. Plus it targets everybody. Desertion is another one. Counter target spell. If it was a artifact or creature, you gain control of it for 5. It's from Visions, kind of old, but really, really good. And lastly, Bribery. Bribery is like my favorite blue spell. For 2 blue, 3 colorless, search through somebody's deck for a creature and put it into play under your control. Really good. Now, while I was going through my blue cards, I decided that I'm going to try building a mono blue wizard theme type deck. I'm probably going to use Rain as my commander. Since she is a legend, I will be able to do that. And I'm going to focus on wizards. I will post the official deck list on my Tumblr, so feel free to follow that. I will put a link, as always, to my Tumblr, and hope you enjoy it. Next week, we're going to cover my last color, which is white, and at that point, I will be taking open invitations to whatever type of video you'd like to see, or what type of deck, or anything. Just give me a challenge. So I share that with you. See you next week.